everybody, welcome back. Movie review time, where we geek out about a movie we just saw. We look darker now. And we just saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So this is going to be our spoiler review. We're going to spoil all kinds of stuff. We might even start right at the very end. So if you don't want to hear how the movie ends or anything like that, you want to go ahead and click out. And we got a few things to say here, which will give you time to jump over and hit the pause button before we start saying spoilers, and we'll thoroughly warn you. But just know, this is going to be our spoiler discussion because we like to talk about specifics. Because if you do our no spoiler review of this, which if you haven't, you should see first because it covers more of our general opinion, you'll understand why it's important that we can also have a video where we talk spoilers to be a little more in-depth in what we're doing. Plus, I like to hear people, if I've seen the movie, I want an in-depth review about the little details of what they did and didn't like, so I got all that going on. Also, we don't consider ourselves movie critics. We're more just people that are movie fans. We love talking about movies, and we go see a lot of them, so figure we'll chat with y'all. And it's a movie kind of about movies, so that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so here you go. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. You have been thoroughly warned. Wow, I can't believe he set up the Star Trek crossover. When the Klingons showed up off the starboard bow. See how I kind of did that, where I kind of still made it your alien joke?
Yeah, that's better than what I was going to do.
Point. So what were you going to do? Let's do this over. So spoilers, spoilers, spoilers.
So I can't believe that all the Hollywood stars are aliens.
Right? Oh my God, they were all Scientologists in the end. And I got one more. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. I can't believe it's not butter.
Oh God.
All right. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, again, you can find out how little or a lot we've seen of Tarantino, where we're coming from on this by watching the no spoiler video. But while I'm thinking about it, what was the spoiler in our no spoiler that you weren't sure if you could say?
Well, just talking about the violence, because it was...
And you can spoil now, so
okay.
Yeah, obviously.
So here's the thing.
I think we're getting to the
forgot
end.
It was a Tarantino movie until the very end.
Okay.
Because then the old ultraviolence kicked in.
Yes, I'm glad I stopped you in the no spoiler. I would have considered this a spoiler because you mentioned you're essentially saying there's no violence until the very end. That would be spoilery.
See, yeah, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it is. But anyways, now I'm glad you can actually say what you want to say. Say your piece about it.
Because I have to say that's not my. I like Tarantino's writing and stuff. The violence gets a little too real sometimes.
A, K, and B. Yeah, I was quite enjoying that, and I was even laughing at because it's kind of absurd violence, but it works. And I was almost also laughing at how she was like, oh. I mean, I understand because it's definitely hard to look at, but
meanwhile, guess who's the person who can actually deal with blood in real life?
Well, that's why I can't deal with it in real life. I like the artistry of the effects. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
I was going
I mean, because we're talking about the Manson family.
There's something particular about faces getting smashed in, which just there
was a lot of face smashing.
There was so much face smashing
on many, many, many different surfaces, all at the end.
It was like that is the highest curb stomp I've ever seen. I mean,
yeah, there was a bunch of that happening. The dog biting the dick was great. All that stuff. So obviously,
I'm so glad the dog didn't get hurt.
Well, I mean, they were punching the fuck out of that dog too. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, but still, it's not like the dog got stabbed or shot.
Right, the dog survived. Yeah, the only good guy that got hurt was Brad Pitt a little bit, and I even love that. It's like, oh man, I may come out of this with a limp or something. I ain't gonna die. It's fine. Just go sleep with your wife, and you can bring me some bagels tomorrow.
Well, even better was when he looks down and he's like, huh.
And he's tapping the knife.
He's still I think the thought going through is I'm glad I'm high as fuck right now because that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I kind of am surprised. I mean, it works the way it did, but I was half expecting, since he smoked the LSD or the acid cigarette, I was half expecting this is where Tarantino was gonna be I finally get to do a surreal, trippy thing. And I thought he was going to go into that, give more of his point of view and do warpy colors and melty faces and stuff. So it's kind of surprising he didn't go that way. It totally works. I'm not saying it should have.
It's just fun watching Brad Pitt go.
That was. Yeah, and again, him and Leonardo DiCaprio were just phenomenal in this. I want to see them in more stuff. Their chemistry together is so good.
Actually, I love how they laid out the scenario for the that last act.
Yeah, and actually I can because that was what I was saying when we were doing a little bit of walking here real quick, was I was wondering as we got into this movie, because once you kind of finally start realizing what they're doing, is it's very slice of life, and like 3 or 4 different stories maybe.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, is this really going to go anywhere, or is he just doing a slice of life? And then you kind of do realize, oh, we're leading up to those Manson family murders. That's what we're doing. We're going to get to know these people so we feel bad when it happens and all this. And I'm like, oh, and Tarantino's going to bring the real brutality and all that. And I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. I'm ready for it. That's what we're going to do. But about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes before it all unfolds, I start to realize, I wonder if he's going to do the Inglourious Bastards thing here. And then it clicked when I had that thought of, oh my God, this is called Once Upon a Time. Again, we're doing a fairy tale. So I do love that it was like the fairy tale version of flipping it, and it was, stopping the Manson murders.
Yeah.
And then what I really liked about the end, when Rick Dalton got to meet Sharon Tate and they all got to be buddies and that dream came true, that I realized how much I actually appreciate what Tarantino's doing with this. Like, in Inglourious Bastards, spoilers for that, it's not as effective in that one as it is in this one. That was more like a revenge fantasy, flipping the script scenario in that. This is more like this actually hammers home the horrible nature of that crime by showing the more fantasy version of them surviving and what could have been. Because you kind of fall in love with these characters, and then when you stop and think, wait, well, in real life, these people were horribly murdered and brutalized, and I don't know how many of them are real. I know Sharon Tate and all that stuff. I know there's a lot of realism going on there. So I mean, I really kind of like that he's like, you know what? No, that's real. That's what really happened. Let's glorify the good people here. And, let's show and show how horrible the crime is because of what could have been by showing what could have been. And I thought that was really, really cool. And I think that's one of the master strokes in here of what Tarantino did. That said, for that to be what it was all building to, I'm satisfied with everything that happened, but like the whole climax feels kind of short. You know what I mean? Because we had like 2 hours and 30 minutes leading up to that, and then like a 5-minute climax. I mean, that's not exactly the running times, but but, if I had any complaints, that's it. Everything else is pitch perfect.
but again, I just like how they laid out.
Oh, except one other complaint.
But because they took their time laying out all the pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, and at no point did it feel like, hey, we did a thing here. Hey, we did a thing here. Yeah,
it wasn't, without spoiling any of it, what was the one that we had that issue? Stuber? Yeah, Stuber was the recent one that we were like, Stuber. Oh, anything they say, that's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was none of that here. You really didn't know where they're angling. But though, like, you're right, they laid the groundwork really well. Even like the dog and the pit bull and that relationship with Brad Pitt, and you believed how well trained that dog was by the time it came time to really put that dog's train into use.
Yeah, that Brad Pitt was a stuntman. He also knew how to fight
and how to take a punch and a roll and a hit.
Oh my God, that scene with
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, yes.
Oh, that's so cool. And I liked it in a way. They're kind of, I think Tarantino's kind of saying, look, Bruce Lee was an asshole, an arrogant prick. I mean, that's the way they portray him in this movie. And I come to think of it as like, I don't know, that could be true.
I think he must have. But I think he must have really liked whoever was doing it, because they kept flashing back to like various people doing stunt work with him. Him
training them, yeah. But I love when he fucking threw him into the car. God damn. Yeah. That whole scene was great. With Kurt Russell and everything, and the way it's a flashback and you kind of forget it's a flashback. Just even that setup of him having a moment where he's almost going to get, Brad Pitt almost going to get mad at Rick for like not trying to get him this job. And he's like, and you almost for a second you think he's gone back there to be like, no, get me this job. But it's really the story of why he can't work with the stunt guy. And then like when that whole scene ends, just that little look, Brad Pitt is like, yeah, I get it. Like that sold that whole thing.
Yeah, I love that.
That was so good.
But man, what you think about, because the reason why he really couldn't work with them was because he.
Oh yeah, and
there was some mystery about whether or not he killed his wife.
Yeah,
and that's what's her name? That actress that drowned, Natalie.
I don't know.
Wood.
I thought she was in the Dixie Chick, so I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, this was like decades ago.
Yeah, I think it's maybe again this. I don't know how much of this is real. Like this actually, I do kind of want to go home and like I don't know, watch a documentary or something on the Manson on this particular thing, just because I am curious how much of that is real. Like, was there actually? I know some of the, like, clearly the outlaw hunter or whatever, the bounty hunter show he was, I don't think that was real. I never heard anything about that. But he, again, does a brilliant job.
Yeah, no, that was
of
definitely
blending.
made up.
Well, right, but that's what I'm saying. He blends reality with his own fictional reality so well.
It's definitely the
I don't
type
know.
of show that would have been on at the time.
Right, but my point being coming around is I don't know, I'm assuming Rick Dalton wasn't real, but was there like an actor and a stuntman buddy and that was part of the story? And,
Again,
and then was he married to the wife that you're talking about, the actress that drowned? Like, how much of that is real? How much of that, like, I really want to go learn this stuff, which is, again, another greatness of Tarantino.
I'm pretty sure she was married to an actual actor, and all the names are escaping me right now.
That's what I'm saying. I just want to go find out. But yeah, but you're right, bringing that up. I love how I walked out. I don't even feel like I needed to know the rest of that story, but now that you mentioned it, I am curious, like, oh man, there could have been a whole other story going on there. I wonder if that's where, maybe they did have that in there. Maybe that's why it got cut, because they show that Tim Roth was in this, but he was cut from the movie, so maybe. But yeah, no, I like that, and I want to know more about that. And you're right, they just kind of gloss over it.
But yeah, it's like...
And Kurt Russell is the stunt boss. That was great, too. And I think he was doing the voiceover, which brings me to that thing I couldn't mention. The trope I was talking about in the no spoilers thing. Remember very early when they go to the bar to meet Pacino, which, by the way, we didn't even talk about how great Pacino is.
Oh, yeah.
But very early, they go to the bar, and they talk, and Leonardo DiCaprio's like, well, my car's in the shop.
Oh,
and then they do that Arrested Development style thing of, that was a lie, he never drove, or whatever, and it's a voiceover. And that's the trope that I thought, oh, if they're going to kind of do that in a Tarantino film, that could be really fun. And then it goes away forever.
I think that basically only happens when Brad Pitt's characters are actually around. Because the stretches where he wasn't around, that was not happening.
But that's beside the point, because there's plenty of stretches he's in the movie, they don't do that. I mean, they did it that one brief time in the beginning, and then it's near the end. I don't know if it's right before the big thing or right after. I can't quite remember at the moment. But then there's like a good stretch.
The whole
oh, yeah, the Rome
trip.
thing. Yeah, they do it through that whole thing. But then you never really get it again. So it feels like it wasn't in there enough to be a stylistic choice. And again, I mean, I'm not saying...
It didn't bother me.
It is something that stood out to me, because when it came back, I was like, oh yeah, they set that up and they haven't done it again. And it feels like if you're going to do that, it should be peppered throughout the movie. But I mean, that's just personal taste, I guess. I mean, it works. I can't really complain about it, except for my personal taste in the matter. But that was the trope I couldn't talk about in no spoilers, because I thought, how cool is it, like, if you actually, especially if they had gotten like a Ron Howard to do it. Yeah. Although that would have been too much. That would have broken too many walls.
But again, setting up for the... go ahead.
Just one last thing before you get to that. We'll be right back.
And we're back.
All right. So what did you want to say? Sorry.
Just going back to them setting up everything. Him giving the girl the ride to the ranch. Yeah. Where he gets to meet the Manson family, sans Manson.
Right. I like how little he was in there, by the way, but yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce Dern as the old ranch man, yeah.
So, like, everybody knew who he was. Everybody knew his boss's car, which the night of the big event happens to have been left at the restaurant because they were both too drunk to drive.
Yeah, and I was wondering about that too. I assumed in the movie when he's at the ranch that was the setup. And then like a few scenes later, it cuts like 6 months later. I was like, oh. Okay, I get. Are they still going to do that?
Yeah,
that seems
again,
weird.
but again, that's the whole part of things being a thing without being hey, it's
exactly.
a thing.
Yeah, and it totally worked. And even that, like, it didn't actually come into it. It was totally coincidental that they ended up fucking around with Dalton and Brad Pitt and Leo. So.
Yeah, because they got the wrong house to begin with.
No, it's not even that they got the wrong house. They were casing the gate next door, which is where they meant to go. And the damn idiots had a car so loud. I love that. Rick Dalton out there in his bathrobe with the thing of freshly made margaritas. He's just yelling at him and just staring him down. That was so good. He's like, well, sir, can we get a little room to turn around? He's like, just drive backwards. Oh my God! And Ethan Hawke's daughter, Mia Hawke. Thank you, Robin from Stranger Things season 3. She was great as the Manson one that ran, and I just love that too. She's like, I left my knife in the car, and I knew, like she was just wanting out of there. And they're like, it's locked. You're gonna need the keys. And the way she's like, thank you. I was like, that is so good. And then just that, and they're like, the fuck? She's that whole sequence was great. And I love that it was Tex. And and I love at the ranch too when he comes back out. Well, first off, yeah, and that tension of him walking in that back room and the way he made you feel like, oh my God, he's going to get murdered. Like they're about to murder him.
Yeah.
But then the reveal that no, it's all legit. It's all real. They really are sleeping with the old man. Bruce Dern was great in that brief moment too.
Yeah.
Like that was great. And then coming out and finding the knife in the tire, and I'm half surprised he didn't say something about, y'all want me to leave? Why are you trying to keep me here? You know. But I love that he's like, fix it. The guy's like, fuck you. Bam. Bam. Ladies. Bam. That was awesome.
Of course, the best setup that was not nudge nudge wink wink was the flamethrower. That
was great, coming back around to the flamethrower. And again, because they had that fake movie scene with Leo in the beginning, that reminded me of the end of Inglourious Bastards. That also kind of put it in my head that, I wonder if he's going to go that route with it, you know? So, but I thought that was kind of neat.
But it's just like, they let you keep the flamethrower?
And I loved him geeking out with the neighbor guy right after. It's like, he's just telling him, like, oh yeah, my buddy, you know, he killed 2 of them and I got the other one. I just burnt her to a crisp. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, with my flamethrower, you know, I kept in the shed. He's like, the one from the movie, the 14 Fists? Like, yeah. That was so cool, man. And yeah, we didn't even talk about like some of the movies and the TV shows and stuff, and how it was neat that like Hogan's Heroes, Kelly's Heroes, whatever the famous prison camp movie.
Oh God,
with Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen.
But they actually put Lee. It doesn't matter. Don't stress that hard over it. But they know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But like digitally putting Leo into that was really cool. There was a couple of great moments when Margot, not Kevin Smith's daughter, but when Margot Robbie goes to watch her movie, when Sharon Tate goes in to watch her own movie, which that whole sequence is adorable. And just her soaking in the people enjoying it, which is a thrilling experience if you can ever experience it.
And also the scene's like, oh yeah, he has a foot fetish, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it was more notable when the hippie girl was putting it up in the against the glass in the car. But anyways, when she went to see her own movie, that made me feel like I was vented in an old like 50s, 60s theater watching a movie, like in the actual theater we're in. And I don't know, it was kind of neat. There was something real nostalgic about the vibe of that scene that worked oh so well. And
I love the fact that she has to convince the people working there. It's like, no, that really is me.
Well, I mean, you know, and back then it wasn't like you could just pull up.
Hey, it's the Valley of the Dolls girl. Patty Duke? No, the other one. No, the other one.
The one that went off to make the naughty movies or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Which they also referenced they were having when they went out to dinner that night. I guess I'm pretty sure it's Deep Throat that was having its premiere down the street. I'm pretty sure that's the adult movie. She's like, adult movies get premieres? Because I'm pretty sure that was one of the only ones at the time that did. Because that was like the adult movie that changed everything and took the world by storm.
Yeah.
Which we'll do on a Drunken Movie Night After Dark one of these days. But yeah, so I thought all these little touches, again, he rebuilt to that era and that world really, really well. And I really appreciated it. One of the other celebrities that I almost mentioned in No Spoilers and didn't was it was great to see Clu Gulager in there. Now, he was huge in the Westerns back in the day, but that was before my time. I first fell in love with Clu Gulager in Return of the Living Dead as the owner of the medical supply warehouse. And then, of course, years later, his son, not Clu, but John Gulager wins the best season of Project Greenlight, season 3, and makes Feast, which is an amazing homage to From Dusk Till Dawn, but its own movie as well, and brings Clu back into that. So, anyways.
You want to tell me which part he was playing in this movie?
Oh, God, no, because I don't remember. Really old man, briefly in one scene and a side shot. I don't remember at all. He might have been an agent or something. I don't rember. Okay,
well, let's talk about somebody that we actually know, Pacino.
I was going to say, yeah, Pacino was great in this in his little bits of roles, too.
Yeah. Because it wasn't Pacino being, like, wild, crazy Pacino.
Hoo-ah! Right.
it was, you know, a much more grounded performance, but
still
very,
funny.
very, very funny, very charming.
Mm-hmm. Over the top. That's how he gets into the Italian films, which is great too, to riff on some spaghetti western stuff. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
To get that vibe down. Timothy Olyphant was great in there. He was like the hero of the big western that he was
Was that Timothy Olyphant?
That was Timothy Olyphant. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Love that guy.
I'm sitting here going like, I kind of want to watch whatever this thing they're shooting.
Right? And the little girl was great too.
Yeah. Little girl, she's like 8 going on 30, but...
Yeah, but again, that's child actors, man. At least, well, today it's a little different, I guess. But yeah, no, the Timothy Olyphant, by the way, just because I thought about it, very underrated movie Timothy Olyphant is in, and Steve Zahn, and I think a lot of people might not know about this. I think Mila Jovovich is in it too. Perfect Getaway. Highly recommended. Just throwing that out there. It just popped in my brain. I thought I would use my power of YouTube to spread the news about something a lot of people may not have seen. Really great twisty-turny thing.
Anywho.
But yeah, so...
that little girl.
She was really good, though. Oh my god, but all the noises DiCaprio kept making too. I love it. Like, it's a great character choice, but I was like, oh my god, dude. All the hacking and coughing and...
Yeah, I was going like, dude, you need to stop smoking.
Yeah, right? Yeah, jeez, there's so much smoking.
It's the point the girl is going like, you okay over there?
Yeah, I know. But I liked her philosophy too, man. She was doing it right, you know? She's like, listen, I've tried having people call me by my character name and my real name. I find I'm a little bit more focused if they stay with my character name. And even if it makes me that tiny bit better, I want to do it. And I was like, that's a fucking professional. That's someone who believes in their craft and their art. And I fucking love it.
Until it goes a little too far that direction, then you end up with, what's his face? The last Joker.
Oh, yeah, Jared Leto.
Yes.
Leto. Yeah, I can go a little far, but apparently those stories were greatly exaggerated if you hear from a lot of people. But no, that was really cool. I guess before we forget, post-credit scene.
Oh yes, the advertisement.
Yeah, Leo selling cigarettes.
Yeah,
that was great in the standee. And then of course they cut, and it's like, oh, this tastes like shit. Who picked this fucking photo? I have a double chill. That was so fucking cool. Which leads into a vintage promo, and this is why I have to bring it up so I can tell you why I got misty-eyed.
Okay.
Vintage Batman 66 radio promo for this competition about, that's right, chum, we'll drive you in the Batmobile up to the studio and you can visit the Batcave and we'll give you this color television. Because Adam West, man. It got me misty-eyed. Because we've lost Adam West.
Oh yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah. And you know, I'm a huge Batman 66 guy, so it's just awesome.
It's getting to the point we've lost so many. I'm like,
we've hit that age now. We're starting to lose them like crazy. But I also loved even like some of the radio bumpers. And this is such a random thing, but it made me want to go listen to an Everclear song because they used the same bumper at one point. It goes KFJ, or I don't know the exact call letters, but it's like KSJ Los Angeles, which is like the very start of AM radio, I believe is what the song is called. That's just awesome. I don't know. It's Pavlovian. I listened to that record, that Everclear record, so much that I hear that jingle and I'm instantly into that song. This is also where they did their amazing version of Brown Eyed Girls on that same record.
An interesting version of California Dreamin'.
Which I don't know who played them, but it was cool that we saw Mama Cass in there, and Michelle Phillips. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, we saw part of the Mamas and the Papas at the Playboy Mansion thing.
Oh yeah.
That was cool, and the Steve McQueen thing was great.
Was supposed to be.
Yeah, because they called her Mama. I was like, the other one they labeled by name.
Yeah. And
I was like, Phillips, like Wilson Phillips? But I was like, no, that was the daughter of, oh, right, yeah. So that was pretty cool. No Hef. Kind of surprised they didn't try to do a Hef. Oh, well, no, they did that. Never mind. I was going to say, if Stan Lee was still alive and he cast Stan Lee as Hef. But then I remember they actually kind of did that in Iron Man, so. But that was cool. Yeah, I mean, look, it's just awesome. Dialogue, characters.
Yeah.
I love how Brad Pitt drives. It was very reminiscent.
Of your dad?
He's heavy on the acceleration and the braking. I'm the weaver.
The thing is, I know you're a stunt driver, apparently, amongst other things, but maybe you shouldn't drive like that in actual traffic?
Why? Everybody else just needs to get out of his way. There's no such thing as a fast lane. There's a passing lane. Sorry. I know. I just going down a thing. But no, I actually like that. And we've always joked with dads, like we've said we should have gotten him stunt driving lessons. But it's like, no, we shouldn't. No, that'll make it worse. And then I'm thinking, I wouldn't mind stunt driving lessons.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that'd be bad. But yeah, so no, all that stuff was really cool. I do love they at least had one car stunt in there. I love where they freeze frame it and said, Cliff, ting. That was really cute. during the Italian stuff, which looked like Italian spaghetti and action films of the era. So he did a great job recreating that stuff, which doesn't surprise me because that's the stuff he grew up loving, of course. Even like the Italian posters and all that stuff, and the titles were so cool.
And so I kind of want to watch Django Unchained because that also has Leonardo.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that one's excellent too. I mean, all his movies are excellent. That's what I'm saying. You're going to see all his movies because I want to rewatch all his movies now, and now I know you want to watch them. So
I'm not sure if I want to watch Reservoir Dogs. Yeah,
you should. It's so fucking good. I mean, it's violent, it's bloody, but it's so fucking good. It's so fucking good. You gotta see Steve Buscemi being Mr. Pink bitching about tipping. You've got to. It's so fucking good. You gotta see Tim Roth in that movie. It's so fucking good. It's his first movie, man. It's so fucking good. I want to go home and watch it. No. But anyways, all right. I think, anything else? We can probably wrap it up. We're running a little longer.
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it.
And that's a wrap. No. Yeah. Oh, one last thing. Roman Polanski and his Austin Powers looking ass.
Oh, God. Do you think he ever actually wore that, or if that's
probably,
or if that was Tarantino going like, no, I want him to look like an idiot?
No, I think Tarantino probably respects him at least for his filmmaking. Hopefully, not as a person, enough to want to be more realistic to it. But it was just very Austin Powers. Yeah.
Of course, it occurs to me that I couldn't pick Roman Polanski out of a lineup, so...
No, not really. I didn't know that was who that was supposed to be till they mentioned it. Again, not knowing anything about the actual history of the story, so...
Yeah.
But it did make me want some food. That vintage Taco Bell was pretty cool. Why don't we get Der Wiener Schnitzel anymore? Like, that needs to be a fast food place again.
I'm not sure Wiener Schnitzel's best as fast food.
I don't care. I just want more options, because we don't have enough restaurant options. Couldn't even get through it with a straight face.
Yeah.
As somebody who, like, never really eats fucking fast food anymore. Not from any moral superiority or anything. I just rarely fucking get fast food. I'm like, so many fucking empty calories. It's more of a diet thing, you know? I mean, I still like it. I just don't get it.
Borderline moral high ground, but okay.
Well, I was saying for me personally, everybody do what works for you. I'm just saying, you know, I don't get as satisfied from a 500 calorie McDonald's quarter pounder as I would just going home and like heating up a couple of sausages and throwing some sauerkraut on it. You know what I mean? Which is like half the Anyways, I don't know what the fuck I got in that discussion.
You derailed yourself.
No, it's because we're doing a Tarantino review. We have to talk about all kinds of just random normal life shit. And see if it comes back to mean anything or something. See? I know what I'm doing. I totally did that on purpose. It's better than doing it on porpoise. And on that note, I don't think I have anything else. You have anything else?
Not really.
We'll take one more commercial break. No, I'm fucking with you. All right, well, let us know. What did you think about this movie? What's your favorite part? What's your favorite character? Are you excited? Did it make you want to go out and learn more about this stuff? If you didn't, where does this rank amongst your Tarantino films right now? And what's your favorite Tarantino film? If we're going writing, it's easily From Dusk Till Dawn, followed very closely by True Romance.
True Romance? Okay, I haven't seen it.
That's what I thought. God, it's only one of the most amazing, fucked up love stories, but awesome. Christian Slater in there. Okay, anyways, you know he also wrote Natural Born Killers, which you also haven't seen. All right, let us know. What do you think? Can't wait to hear your thoughts. I gotta show you so many movies. Or you and Tamara need to start hanging out.
Well, Tamara needs to not live in Chicago.
Well, or we need to not live in Kentucky. It's all right. We don't get as snowy. Anyways. Sorry, it was just inside baseball. All right, let us know. What do you think? Geek out in the comments. Look forward to hearing what you have to say. Other than that, you can click the thumbs up button. Give us that good old thumb of encouragement, as we do love to be encouraged. And now we're going to get out of here so we can go watch some more stuff. We'll see you all later.